This, of course, is a time where we turn our thoughts to loved ones who pass from this life to the next. And to introduce this, I'd like to share something by a woman named Sandy, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She's Asian, and it's something like Suhu or Soho, Suhu I'll say, a freelance photographer and writer. And she writes about the days from her childhood when her father used to drag the family through the city, New York, to his favorite places. They would spend long hours doing things he loved in the city, seeing sights and tasting food. To her, it was like an empty, boring ritual she had to endure. And then her father died, and this is what she wrote. I'd grown to resent these rituals as I got older. In my late teens and early 20s, I refused to go, preferring instead to sleep in late. Now I hunger for them, regret the ones I missed. Now I drag friends through buzzing streets searching for sesame buns stuffed with red bean paste, for the salty, sweet minced meat of roast pork buns. But all I want really is one more Sunday with my father, who is gone now, to feel sleepy and full and sick with sweet gratitude for all those early mornings in this city that I love. At this point in time when our eyes begin to tear as we recall our loved ones, let us resolve to spend all the time we can with those we love and who are still with us. And let's realize how all our experiences with them, all their funny habits and quirks and loves, now sometimes annoying and sometimes endearing, will someday be precious memories. Those memories turn into gifts when we reflect on them and express gratitude for the love and companionship we have known from those who gave us those memories. That's the purpose of these moments as we begin our Yizkor prayers.
Lakol Zman, from the book of Ecclesiastes. For everything there is a season and a time and purpose for everything under the heavens. time to kill, a time to heal, a time to tear, and a time to build. In the heat of the day, at the ocean's edge, under a multi-hued beach umbrella, 4 elderly, short bubbies and zadies, my grandparents and great-aunt and uncle of blessed memory, are sitting, conversing in Yiddish, concerning a skandal about which they all seem to have intimate details. My father, Zichrono Livracha, is sitting close on a blanket, reading the paper, trying not to listen, and yet the subject is too tantalizing to ignore. They're laughing, intoning their amazement with rich and colorful Yiddish phrases, and my father cannot help but laugh aloud and chime in with his eloquent Yiddish. How do you know all of those racy and outrageous details? They stare at him in shock and reply in the Mama Lushan, the mother tongue, one after the other. We saw it on As the World Turns. As if it was impossible to believe that neither he nor anyone else had not seen every episode ever created. I miss the sounds of their voices, the way they intoned their moods, the gentle cheek-pinching way that they murmured their love for each other and for all the family, even the way they expressed their anger, their hurt, their pain. I wish I could bring back the vibrant timbres of their Eastern European accents, declaring, I don't have an accent. I miss the delicate touch of their hands on my head, their blessings to us as children, or my father's gentle tenor voice singing in a rare moment on Yom Kippur. Why is it such a strong thirst, an agonizing need, and a heart-rending ache to hear those utterances from those who have left this world? Because those voices that declared their thoughts, their loves, their anger, their disappointments, their affections, are all the voices of God. I used to often say and feel and believe that I could only hear God's voice in nature. I was wrong. We are taught from the book of Genesis, on the day God created humans, God created them in the image of God, Tselem Elohim. Rabbi Simeon ben Azai reminds us that every human is created in God's image, and everyone should be understood and treated as such. But is that not forbidden, as taught by the Jewish principle of Avodah Zarah, foreign worship, meaning idol worship? Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel asked, why are graven images forbidden by the Torah? Heschel's student, Rabbi Arthur Green, notes that Heschel teaches, as opposed to what one might think, that God has no image, and any image created to represent God is a distortion. It is precisely because God has an image that idols are forbidden. You are the image of God. We all are the image of God, Tselem Elohim. And part of that image, body and soul, are the language and sounds we create. To remember the words of our loved ones no longer on this earth, to hear their voices, their thoughts, their whispers, their laughters, and their stories, is to hear God. And so it is with the person sitting right next to you now. Immanuel, God with us, God within us. Rabbi Green teaches you can't make God's image. You can only be God's image. With that image of God, I'm thinking of my friend Allison, lying silently in a hospice bed in Boston. I met Allison and her husband Richard at the New England Conservatory. Together we were a trio, one bassoonist, me, and two oboists. That's a lot of double reeds. I performed their wedding and saw them through the adoption of their two beautiful Russian sons. What I love about Allison is her laughter and her colorful descriptions of orchestral musicians and their personalities, her high intellect and her passion for learning. Her bright, intense, always positive voice is now silent. Allison is dying from an unfathomable cruelty of Lou Gehrig's disease. Before the disease gained control, Allison was articulate and her laughter infectious. Her most endearing and important trait is her enthusiasm for life. Enthusiasm, from the Greek, en theos, God within us. Her husband, her children, her friends, and colleagues will never hear that enthusiastic voice again, even though Allison is still with us. God's joyful voice will never again be heard through this icon. The word icon comes from an early Aramaic biblical translation to Greek of the Hebrew word tselem, image, or in modern Hebrew, photograph. Rabbi Green notes that to call each person an icon of God is to say that each person both resembles and contains the divine form. With Allison as icon, God's voice is quieted and only heard through the blink of her eyes. I take small comfort in the fact that a minor planet, 7517 Allison Doan, is named for her as part of her legacy. A distant, silent, brilliant, shining star will be her icon. Back here on Earth, our memories remind us to treasure the gift of present time. I'm very lucky. My mom, Mae Bernstein, has been visiting me for the past 4 months. Every night and every day, I have the privilege of being with her and hearing her voice, God's voice, laughing, joyful, complicated, searching, sharing memories, and playing the 90-year-old card at every opportunity. She will be leaving San Diego tomorrow, and that fact, at her age, pervades my thoughts. How we all fear when we say so long, that it might be goodbye. How after our loved ones are gone, do we remember what our last words were to them? What did they hear? What did we want them to hear? Mom, we are privileged to share our lives together. We don't always hear each other, and we don't always see godliness in each other. There have been many life disappointments. However, there have been many more life joys. Know that I am grateful to you and Dad for my life and for my gifts. The passion that sometimes sounds out in conversation wouldn't be as loud nor as heated if there wasn't a deep and enduring love between us. Mom, I want you to know that I love you. I want you to be very, very sure that you know that and have no doubt. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you worry about the details of our lives, ups and downs and challenges, our unimportant little exchanges, the big picture is for you to know, to be absolutely certain that you can rest easy because you are loved and honored. Mom, I love you. And when you leave tomorrow, know that I will always hear your voice. We need to pay attention to those voices around us now because life is fleeting. Don't wait to miss their sounds. And should you be craving the voice of your loved ones long gone from this earth, as desperately as I am craving the voices of my Bubby and my Zadie and my Dad, Find the people who knew them. Repeat and share the phrases that they loved. Listen to them in the deeds they did and the lives they lived. Listen to them in the remembrances of a beautiful day under a multi-hued beach umbrella, and let those memories be resounding blessings. We turn to page 540 and continue our service with Eli, Eli.
Page 541. Eternal God, we ask your help, for our need is great. Our days fly past in quick succession, and we cannot look back without regret or ahead without misgiving. We seek to understand the mystery of our own lives, but our effort is in vain. And when suffering and death strike those we love, our faith all but fails us, and we forget that we are your children. God, help us now to feel your presence. When our own weaknesses and the storms of life hide you from our sight, help us to know that you are with us still. Uphold us with the comfort of your love. Page 546. Page 547. Together, Yom Kippur without my father and without my mother is not Yom Kippur. From the blessing of their hands on my head, just the tremor has remained, like the tremor of an engine that didn't stop even after their death. Out of the depths I cry to you, hear me, hear my voice, let my plea reach your ear. Page 552. Together, they alone are left me, they alone still faithful, for now death can do no more to them. At the bend of the road, at the close of the day, they gather around me silently and walk by my side. This is a bond nothing can ever loosen. What I have lost, what I possess forever.
We continue to share poetry with each other as a way to just respond to that there are no words for the loss we're present to in this room. And just a note, you'll see that we've lit candles up here. There are candles present throughout this Yizkor book. So if you need to just lose the words, feel free to look into the light. Page 557, we'll read together at the top of the page. In the morning, I said to myself, life's magic will never come back. It won't come back. All at once, the sunshine in my house is alive for me, and the table with its bread is gold, and the cups on the table and the flour all gold. And what of sorrow? Even in the sorrow, radiance. And page 565. In the middle of the page, the footprints. Everything will remember that I was here. The ships will be the color of my clothing. The birds will use my voice for singing. The fishermen on the rock will ponder my poem. The river will follow my footprints. We'll take time now to think about those we love and really miss, those people that have sat next to us here in years past or made a difference for us in our lives. There's blessings in here and prayers, starting really on 568. There's 2 blue pages. And you can use those words to make up your own tefillah or offering, or just following that, there are specific prayers for someone that you want to remember, prayers for a man or a boy or a woman or a girl, and it goes on. So I'll invite us all into just quiet reflections to think about those who we miss and love.
this time how we are aware. Blessed is the life of every soul, pure and bright the breath of God within us. So we pray, help us know the infinite wisdom that gives life and takes it away. Forgive us for anger, bitterness, and selfishness. Teach us the language of healing. Let's join together on page 583. At the bottom of the page, these beautiful words from Adon Olam, Biado Afkid Ruchi, this great surrender in the face of mystery and things that we cannot ever understand. Let's share these words at the bottom together. My soul entrusted to your care, both when I sleep and when I rise, my body too will rest in you. I have no fear, for God is mine.
Afkid ruchi b'heiti sham ve'ahira ve'im ruchi keviati Adonai li v'lo ira ve'im ruchi Adonai li v'lo ira. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. My
Page 593. No other psalm, perhaps no other prayer but Kaddish itself, is as inseparable from our experience of grief and mourning as the 23rd. One phrase, so simple and direct yet emotionally profound, has made it so. Ki ata imadi, for you are with me. Or in the language of an earlier age, for thou art with me. To arrive at those words after passing through the valley of the shadow of death is to know the words of Rabbi Joshua Loth Liebman, that God contains and supports us as a mighty ocean contains and supports the infinitesimal drops of every wave. To arrive at those words is to feel at home in the cosmos, held and comforted, cared for and serene. The 23rd Psalm does not make promises that cannot be kept. The end of all evil, the eradication of suffering and pain, sunshine instead of shadows. It makes but one promise, only this: you are not alone.
Our loved ones live in our broken hearts, and at times that brings some measure of healing. Their acts of kindness and generosity are the inheritance they leave behind. We feel their absence, but the beauty of their lives abides among us. As it is said, the name of one who has died shall not disappear. Our loved ones' names and their memories will endure among us. And these are the names on our lips and in our hearts today.
Jean Bark, Alexander Burkow, Alan Stewart Bernstein, Lou Beverstein, Deanne Bloom, Jack Bloom, Larry Bornstein, Theodore Kashuk, Stephen J. Cohn, Donna Cook, Estelle Dobbs, Jay Dobbs, Rosalind Easton, Robert Epstein Sr., Robert Feynman, Sylvia Feldman, Aaron Freeman, Lucy Frankel, Bernice Gale, Dennis George, Rosalind Goldsmith, Estelle Goodman, Daniel Greenblatt, Harvey Helsel, Richard Sparrow Hoffman, Marvin Jacobs, Howard Todd Cotterer, Joanne Marsh Klein, Samuel Kleinman, Leo Koppel, Arlene Joyce Fleischman Cornett.
Melvin T. Korobkin, Joan Kramer, Thelma Kramer, Paul David Lewis, Hillary Moser, Shern Platt, Gerald Rosen, Charles Rosenberg, Richard Rosenberg, Marjorie Rubinson, Irving Rubin, Howard Ruttman, Miriam Schatz, Jill Schwartz, James Seltzer, Etta Shankerman, John Schneider, Robert Schnitzer, Ruth Schnitzer, Lawrence Schwab, Bella Shapira, Barbara S. Sildorf, Lessing Lauren Silver, Joyce Meredith Singer, Robbie Slaughter, Edna Spachman, Marjorie Stein, Selma Stein, Marilyn Stern, I. Harry Tenenbaum, Les Tenney, Henry Thaler, Louis B. Tischler Jr., June Ullman, Stephen Wax, Irving Weiner, Barbara Refson Weisen, Gwen Ella Zelak. And now, if you're able, please rise for El Malay Rachamim on page 598.
El Malay Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hamitzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, Him Kedoshim Utorim, Kizor Harakia, Mazirim, Lenishmot, Yakireinu Shalachul Yolamam, Bal Harachamim, Harachamim, Yastireim Beseder Kenafav, Leolamim, Vitzror Bitzor HaChaim, Et Nishmatam, Adonai Hu Nachalatam, V'yanuchu b'shalom, Alem Yishkavam, V'nomar, Amen.
Our Kaddish prayer is on page 606. We share these words together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divarach hirute v'yamlik malchute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'tadar, v'taleh, v'talal, shemed kudisha brichu. La'ela u'la'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mramah, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us all say, Amen. You may be seated. We continue.